Hello, everybody, and welcome to What Do You Say Anime. I'm your host, Peter. And on today's episode, we will be previewing the spring 2021 anime lineup. Today, we got 11 shows for you. Joining me today is the starting point guard of the San Antonio Spurs. As always, we have young Patty Mills. Pat, how's it going?
It's good. I hate basketball. God, I am so bad at it too. Yeah, I'm Patty Mills. Well, starting point guard for the Spurs. You said is
The
that who
Spurs,
you play
yes.
for right now? Okay.
That's where you play.
Yeah, that's the team I play for. Yeah. So there we go. I'm excited to talk about spring anime. It's not gonna be in my opinion, it's not gonna be the season that we just had, or that we are currently experiencing of winter 2021, but there are definitely some shows that I've been waiting for years to come back, so I'm very excited to talk about them.
Yeah, me too. So before we jump into it, how have you been, like, what you've been watching, what you've been up to since the last, like, watch club?
A lot of Ruby, a lot of Ruby primarily, which I know doesn't really count as anime, but that's just that's been most of my energy has been dedicated to like thinking about what's going on and watching those episodes, participating in fan discussions and stuff like that. I love that show to death. As much as I bitch and moan about it and get frustrated by it, I still do love the show. I think it's such a um, cool world that they've built, and I just love it to death. Other than that, I also Tatami Galaxy. I've been doing some reading up on that because that is our next Watch Club show. So I'm planning on reading that, and I did start watching Doctor Stone as well again. I'm
Nice.
slowly getting back into the seasonal anime watching mood after taking probably almost a month now break of watching shows like regularly. I've just been it's been a weird month, but
We,
we're
we,
getting
we
there.
all go through those phases
Yeah,
where
well, like I don't
sometimes
know,
you
there'll
see
be
a break.
yeah, well, like sometimes like there'll be the times like 3 months ago when I watched Akudama and Wandering Witch both in the same night. Like I watched the entire series of both of them in the same night, and I loved it. And then 2 weeks later, my plan to watch list hasn't
Yep.
even been touched. It just happens
I did this
sometimes.
I
I
did
don't
the
know.
same thing where I watched, like, 4 seasons of The Sopranos in, like, a week just because, like,
Yeah,
I needed something else to watch. I was so burnt out on anime. But luckily, like,
reading subtitles is hard.
it is
Like
hard. Reading is
it
hard in
gets
general.
tiring. Yeah, it gets tiring, and sometimes you just need to turn your brain off and watch Mario Maker on YouTube or something like that. Like I do, because it's like, oh, pretty colors, nostalgia. That's what
Yes,
I've been
for
doing.
sure. And we'll
Yeah,
keep pushing the Wonder Egg agenda on you because we will be doing a special
I
episode on
cannot wait.
Wonder Egg because it's incredible, and we're
I've
doing an
heard
entire episode about it, so hopefully
I have
people watch
only
Wonder
heard good
Egg.
things about this show. That is on the list of shows that I will eventually binge all at once, I'm sure. Again, trying to catch up on Dr. Stone's a good get you back into the swing of
Doctor
things
Stone's
kind of show.
fun. Lots of fun.
It's fun, exactly. It's fun and it's easy to watch. You don't really even have to fully pay attention to it when you're watching it. So that's why I'm starting with that. But Wonder Egg, I want to put my full energy into. So because I've
That's a good
heard
call.
again nothing but good things about this show. So I'm excited.
Very, very good. And before
Mhm.
we jump into spring, though, however, we will be talking about certain shows that will be having sequels. Um, so we will be talking a little spoilerish. So if you do not want to hear those discussions, in the description below, there will be the timestamps for each show that we're talking about. So jumping into the first show, the big hitter. No surprise, everyone's gonna be watching the show except maybe Pat, and that's My Hero
Yeah,
Academia season 5. We leave off where Endeavor and Hawks were fighting some, like, goons, and then we had one of the worst arcs I think I've ever seen in shonen with the Gentle
I
Criminal.
agree. I agree. Yeah.
It still baffles me that people like Gentle Criminal. I have no idea why, but season 5 we are getting, I believe it is the 1A versus 1B, like, tournament, and then we also get, I believe, get the start of My Villain Academia, which is what I've been told is the best arc in My Hero. I don't think we're gonna get a full adaptation of it because I think it's still going on in the manga, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the second half of the season, because it's 24 episodes, if, like, the first half is 1A versus 1B, and then, like, the second half is My Villain Academia. I don't know. It's My Hero. I watch it. It's, like, one of the best 7 out of 10 anime I've ever seen. But, I mean, honestly, it's not really, like, our style of show, but I don't know, Pat, do you have any thoughts or anything about My Hero Academia season 5?
Not much. I've never gotten into that show. It just does. Like Pete said, 7 out of 10. Like that. I enjoy 7 out of 10 anime, but only when they're in my usual genres of like rom-com
Yep.
or melodrama, shit like that. This isn't my cup of tea, so I'm not gonna bother with it. However, what I will say though is that when there's a new season of My Hero coming out, that's a good thing for anime because it is one of the most popular shows in the West and in general. I believe it's really popular in Japan too. I'd
Oh
have to
yeah.
imagine
Yeah.
it's that yeah. Well, so it's like it's this. Well, yeah, same thing. When next season of Demon Slayer comes out, it's gonna be a big good thing for anime. Which of course I love Demon Slayer, but like it's it's just it's never a bad thing to have a new season of this show coming out just because it's gonna help draw more and more people into the anime fandom, and that's what we want. We want to have more people to talk about with shows, and if they enjoy My Hero, then maybe we can convince them someday to watch Violet Evergarden or something else. Maybe that's a bit of that's a huge leap,
That's a
but
huge
you know,
leap.
yeah, but that's the dream, right? That they'll eventually maybe they'll take those steps themselves and get there. You
Yeah.
know, um, so I'm not going to complain that it's coming out. Uh, I'm not gonna watch it either though, because it's just not my kind of show. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm not a big fight guy. I don't care about fights in anime, and that's what the show seems to excel in. So it's not really my thing.
Yeah, exactly like what Pat said. If it gets people into anime, that's always a good thing. Don't gatekeep. It's just not our type of show, our type of
Nope.
style. And I hate to be that guy, but what Black Clover is currently doing is blowing like every shonen out of the water right now. It's absolutely incredible, and so it's gonna be really hard to top like what Black Clover is doing. But I mean, it's My Hero. It's gonna be super popular. Everyone's gonna talk about it, and yeah, it's a really good thing for anime. And I'm looking forward to watching it. It's just not those. It's not a type of show that's like if it comes on like a Saturday, it's like it's a must watch for me. Like I'll watch it like when I'm eating dinner or something like that. Like
Right.
nothing, and then like it's a type of show where you can like look at your phone too, and like you probably won't miss nothing. So
Yeah, but it's so crazy to hear you praising Black Clover because I all I ever remember from when I first
it
got
was
into anime was
garbage.
that was garbage, right? And that all they did is yell and
Yes,
Bakugo is that his name? Or is that
Asta Abaka goes from My Hero.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. You can tell. Well, so you can tell that this is not my
That
genre,
your
right?
wheelhouse, yeah.
That's not my strong suit. Fucking Asta or whatever. Yeah, sounds so. It's supposed to be really annoying, but then my shonen head friends, and I call them that affectionately. I do.
The
It's
meat the
not an
meatheads,
insult.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, my former teammates in soccer
yeah.
and stuff that don't, didn't go to school for school. They went to school for soccer. They loved that show. They loved they loved Black Clover. They're like, dude, it's so good. It's so good. Like the episode 70 was sick, bro. And I'm just like, okay, I,
Yeah.
I don't
It's
believe you, but sure. But apparently now it is. Apparently it's really
it's
good.
like if anybody watched it and dropped it, I don't blame them because episodes like 1 through
Right.
45 are garbage. And then Studio Pierrot, who's known for like making shonen, so it's like, hey, how about we give you a
Naruto. Yep.
how about we give you a budget and then make it good? Because like everyone says like the manga is pretty good and the anime just didn't like adapt the manga well. And then just like, okay, we're actually gonna adapt the manga now, and it turned out to be like I mean, I'm not shonen's probably one of my least favorite genres, and I love Black Clover now. Like what they're doing is
Right.
incredible.
Well, that's why it's so shocking to hear that you praising it like every week. I'm like, wow,
One of
they
the
got to be
best
doing something
one of
right.
the best
Yeah.
magic systems in anime. It's incredible. I love Black Clover. Yeah, but this is My Hero Academia season 5 we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Either way,
You know what
I
has
know.
a really bad power system? My Hero Academia. Those quirk systems is really bad. It's not a fun power system. That's
It
just my 2 cents.
it sounds kind of like Ruby's battle or semblance system, which isn't perfect. I like it personally, but I think it's flawed in the
It is
show. So
flawed. It reminds me of X-Men, which is kind of
yeah, it's the same exact idea. Yeah, that we're like, oh, your power can get awakened within you some random day or just randomly,
yeah,
right? Like that's how it
yeah,
works. Yeah,
yeah. It's
Deus
My
Ex
Hero.
Machina.
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
whatever.
Hmm.
You're not there for the deep philosophical like references.
No.
You're there to watch 14-year-olds save the world. Let's be real. So yeah,
Pretty
My
sick.
Hero Academia season 5. Big show.
Moving on to much more important 14-year-olds, right?
Oh,
Or
yes.
sick transition. Thanks,
This
Pat. That was
this show, I mean, let's talk about the show real quick. Mappa has made brilliant shows like Attack on Titan, Jujutsu
yeah.
Kaisen, Doro Hedoro, but nothing comes close to the best Mappa production ever made, and that is Zombieland Saga. That's right, boys.
Absolutely.
Season 2 is here. We get my favorite voice actor of all time back. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait to watch Zombieland Saga. This for me is a must watch. I love Zombieland Saga. Pat, what are your thoughts on Zombieland Saga?
Same thing. Oh yeah, so we forgot to do the must watch or not with
Oh,
My Hero,
I mean,
but
if you're watching My Hero by now, it's like you're either
it's yeah.
watching it by now or not.
Yeah, no, so this is a must watch though. I will just come out and say it as well. This show, 2018 in fall, I believe is when it came out, the glorious my golden season of anime, with a bunch of releases, a lot of great stuff that year and that season in particular. And this is one of them. I remember watching this show, going in not knowing what to expect. I think Giga recommended it and said just watch it. Don't even like look into it, just watch it. First episode, la 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 la. This girl's trying out for an idol shit, whatever, and then
Yep.
just bam, Truck-kun makes his
Truck-kun.
triumphant. That's like his defining moment. I feel like, right? That's his magnum opus. Is that
Yeah,
scene when she gets hit?
this is what Truck-kun does.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Super Smash Brothers her out of here.
She gets star KO'd and turned into a zombie, and now she's but she completed her dream of becoming an idol or something. And I don't even remember how the show ended. Didn't they? They were performing in like an audience hall, and then the hall collapsed from snow. Was that what happened, or I can't remember what the
What
fuck
happened? Because it's like they did like their rap performance. They did like their festival performance where like the lightning like broke like all the
stage.
I'll have to go back and see what happened at the end of season 1. But like that's not like the point. The point of
the chicken episode.
The chicken episode is incredible.
back.
They made a real. That's okay. So the chicken, like restaurant that they used in that is a real chicken like store in Japan.
Is it? I didn't know that.
And they use them as like a real like marketing campaign. Like that is not a joke. It is a chicken restaurant in Saga, Japan, the prefecture.
Yep.
And they use it as a marketing campaign. This show is genius.
It's so clever. I love this show. All the voice acting, like he said, Pete said, the voice actor for Mamoru Miyano does a fantastic job with the main guy. He did that. Remember when he did the New Year's special to reveal when this season was coming out too? That was so good. Again, we're just gushing about this show, but that's because it's so much fun. And like, it's not like I'm like some idol freak or something. I've never seen Revue Starlight, never seen Love Live or any of those shows, but this show is the only idol show I've ever watched, and I've loved it. I loved it to fucking death. This show is so funny and clever. It's like the rap battle scene, like Pete mentioned, was really funny, but that wasn't even like a main focus of the show. Like the performances are there, but it's really about all the characters like overcoming their struggles and having fun together, shooting the shit, as an idol group. It's so fun. Again, I don't know what they're gonna do with this season because they were getting a little serious near the end of the last season too. Like with the flashback revealing that the guy probably went to school with what's her name, the main girl. God, I can't remember her name. But Sakura. There you go. Yep. So there's that hinted. So we'll see what goes on there. Again, I'm pretty sure this is an original. Yeah, it's an original source, so no one knows what's gonna happen. But this is one of the reasons why MAPPA is one of my favorite studios, because they put out shows like this. This is gonna be so good, man. I can't gush enough about it. I can't wait.
And we were talking about like
it's gonna be a must watch every night. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Legendary voice actors. We have Mamoru, but don't forget that we have the legendary Tei Yamada as well.
Yes.
Don't forget about her. I mean, it is like a parody of idols. People don't like how they do the CG in their performances, and that's supposed to make fun of idol shows. Like they do that on purpose. They make the idol performances bad on purpose. And I don't. If you haven't seen an idol show, I think people are like confused, like why? Because like the animation is pretty solid.
It's good outside of the performances, which is the joke.
But like that's the joke. So it's like I feel like some people like get put off by the music aspect of it because it is very idol-y. If that's not your, if you don't like girl J-pop songs, like you're not going to be like intrigued by it. But like that's kind of like the fun of it because they're actually making fun of idols and just like how silly and goofy the things that idols have to go through in order to like become stars. Like I don't know, dress up in chicken costumes and do a commercial. Are things that idols do. Like they go to like malls and shake hands and stuff like that. It's crazy. The culture in Japan is like insane for idols. So
and with them being zombies, which we haven't even fucking talked about.
They're zombies. By the way, everyone's dead. They're all dead. They're all
They're
zombies.
all overcoming well, and the part of that is they're all overcoming things from their past, like, one of them used to be an escort back in,
Like
ancient
feudal
not ancient
Japan.
feudal Japan. Another one is just a schoolgirl who wanted to be an idol. Another one was an idol until she got struck by lightning on stage. The other one was a fucking street rat, like, whatever you wanna call him, like a gang
A
member,
gang member, yeah.
one of the women's not like a yakuza, but like the woman's like I don't know that it, again another thing that you if you don't understand Japanese culture you won't get fully, but like they reference them in anime all the time. Another one is someone who was transitioning and just wanted to get the support of their father. And God, what a beautiful episode that was. Do you remember that one? Because that one I forgot about until we started talking about it.
I kind of pulled the Scrubs card because I don't know if you've ever watched Scrubs. How it's like it's a comedy, but every now and again they'll throw in like that super serious episode.
Yes.
And they did that with I think her name is Yuki.
Let me look. Let me look real
I
quick.
have
It's
it up.
Lily.
Lily. Yeah, they did it with Lily, where it's like you finding out that she's like transgender and like the
Mhm.
struggles of her growing up with like wanting to be this person, and like it was just like, where did this come from? And it was like super beautiful, and I loved it.
Yep, it didn't feel out of place, it didn't feel natural, and it was great because it was mixed in with fucking, Yamada Tai chewing on her microphone or her head falling off mid-performance and old people clapping because they think it's a magic trick and they're too
Yeah.
naive to realize that it's actually a problem. Like, again, it's so it's such a good show. I love this show, man. We've talked about it so much more than I thought we would, but
I mean,
it
we
deserves
are
it,
both
bro.
fans. I went back to look because at like my top 10 from 2018, and this was my number 6 show of 2018.
Number
So
6, right, yeah. Yeah, it's top 10 for me too from that year. That
I
year
mean,
was
yeah,
stacked
we had
too.
Violet, we had A Place Further Than the Universe, we had Laid Back Camp. So I had
Bunny
some of
Girl
my
Senpai,
yeah,
yeah.
I had some of my all time. I had Zombieland at 6 and Bunny Girl Senpai at 7. So like
Mhm.
that just shows like how stacked that season was or that year was. But like
That season too, they were the same
yes,
season.
yes they
It's
were.
crazy.
But yeah, for me, Zombieland Saga, I think is a must watch, especially if you're a fan of comedy. If you're a fan of like I don't know Konosuba, like where it's like a parody comedy, this is obviously a little different, but like it's the same type of premise. It's taking a specific genre, making it its own while also parodying it. It's really fun.
Yeah, and again, it's MAPPA, which, probably my favorite studio, outside of Violet Evergarden studio, KyoAni. But they've done a ton of shows. They're doing the final season of Attack on Titan right now. They've done Kakegurui, Yuri on Ice, Dororo, everyone's favorite God of High School. Um, Yeah, I say that ironically, but they've done a ton of other shows too. Like Sarazan Mai a show that they did that is goofy and in the same nature as this show, like comedy wise. So I'd say if you liked any of those shows I mentioned, you'd probably enjoy this one, and you should go watch the first season because
Yeah.
it oh it's so good.
If you're a fan of Mappa, like you gotta watch Zombieland Saga. It's so much fun. It's great.
Absolutely. But yes,
Speaking of being great and something new coming up, we have Way of the House Husband. Let me pull up my manga real quick. There we go, showing it
I'll
off to
pretend
everybody.
I'm looking at it. Wow,
Pat
yeah, I
can't see
can't
it.
see it.
I got
Nope.
4 volumes of it. So, Way of the House Husband is a very hot anime coming out. Um, Essentially, the premise is a former yakuza, like I'll say, like brute guy. Like he wasn't like the leader, but like if somebody needed like to do something, they'd call on him. Type of guy. He's like the ace of like their yakuza. Well, he decides that he doesn't want to do it anymore. He gets married and is now a stay-at-home husband. And that's kind of the premise. It's his daily life of transitioning out of being Yakuza and being like this ideal husband. And if the premise sounds great, it's because it is great. It's fantastic.
It's such a great premise.
I love this show. Sorry, I love this manga. I have seen the live action show as well. It's on Hulu. It is incredible. The whole premise is amazing. The voice actor for of the live action show, I believe, is also
He's done a lot.
yeah, he does. He has done a lot, but I believe the voice actor from the show is also doing the voice acting. Sorry, like from the live action show is doing the voice
Really?
acting for the anime or something along those lines. It's like a really yeah. I mean, the guy's like
Well, he's
super
a
popular.
reputable guy. He was like,
Yeah,
so just for reference, he's like Levero from Tower of God. He's done a ton of
he
roles.
was
Like he's got the like
Overhaul from My
yeah,
Hero throwback.
he's he's got a very deep voice. Like he's got a very he's in Golden Kamuy as so that's how I also know him. But I don't know. He's been in you go to his Mal page and it's like the list just goes on and on
Yeah.
and on. There's no end to the amount of shows he's been in. Like definitely been around the scene. He's Seto Kaiba. Like there you
Ooh,
go. That's a fucking perfect one
there we
to
go.
mention too. That's a big one. Like so yeah. If you'll recognize his voice, I bet. If you're a familiar anime fan, so I'm excited to see him perform this because this show looks so funny. The premise sounds great, and the few panels of the manga that I've seen that have been shared are hilarious. You know, where he panics because he's like, "Oh God, I've got to kill this person," and then he realizes, "Wait a minute, no, they're just like walking down the street, or they're just in the grocery store at the same time as I am. It's not
Yeah.
like something personal." It's great. I love it. And his wife is supposed to be really funny too, so I can't wait to see that.
His wife is great, but yeah, he always gets into these like random like moments where just based off his appearance, he looks Yazuka like he looks
Yep.
really scary, but he's like I'm gonna kill it tonight. Everyone's like he's gonna murder somebody, but he actually means like he's gonna kill the dinner he's gonna make for his wife tonight or something like that. It's really great. It's a super easy to watch show. They're like I'm wondering how they're going to format it because in the manga the chapters are like really short. So I don't know if we're gonna get like one of those things where it's kind of like Love is War, where we get like 4 scenarios
Little
per
bits.
episode type
Yeah.
of thing. I'm
Mm.
guessing that's kind of how it's going to be. So you'll probably get like 6, or sorry, like 4 6-minute snippets in like a episode type of thing. It's gonna be really fun no matter what. My only issues with it is it's Netflix. Um, I'm
True.
scared. I'm scared what they're going to do. It's not going to be a Netflix jail though, so which is super surprising. Where
That is awesome.
Shaman King, which is technically coming out this season, is going in Netflix jail, and then currently airing we have Beastar season 2. For some reason, this one's not in Netflix jail. I don't understand why, but
I think this is their big selling point. This one, I think they're really trying to push it because this is like you mentioned, it's a hot manga. Like this is one of the more popular manga, non-shonen manga, I should
yeah.
say too. Like in Japan right now, right? Or it was when it was
I
in
mean,
its heyday.
it has a live action movie, it has a live
Right.
action TV show with multiple seasons. It's on Hulu. Like this is a
It-
pretty solid like franchise in terms of non-shonen like franchises, I guess,
yeah.
properties.
Like it was a matter of time before it got an anime, and this is their probably Netflix going to be pushing this really hard.
Yeah.
This is also done by JC Staff, so they've had some hits and misses in their long storied career. You know, they've got their Toradoras though, they've got Pet Girl Sakura, so they've got Golden Time, so this like rom-com kind of genre is something that they usually do pretty well. So I think that's one thing that's gonna be nice about. Which of course this isn't like a full-on rom-com, but there's the comedy is based around the two main characters,
Yes.
the house husband and his wife. So and they usually do really well with interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
So I think
And
and they've also done shows like Sazai-san and or Saiki-san, sorry, whatever the fuck his name is.
Psyche, yeah.
Yeah, Saiki, like they've
If we
done
get
those kind
Psyche
of shows
vibes,
too.
it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Because that's like it's kind of the same way. This is like 95% comedy. And that's kind of what Psyche is as well, and they handle that fantastically. So I'm really hoping that's the kind of vibes we're going to get.
I agree. I'm excited for this one. I remember hearing about the manga and being like, this has to be an anime someday. And then
Yeah.
sure enough, 6 months later, it's already getting put up. So I can't wait.
Yeah, so I think this is just gonna appeal to everybody. I think at least when it comes out is a must watch. We'll see how Netflix handles it. It could change my perception on it just because if you watch the PV, it's a little I have some questions, but if it's handled well, then it's gonna be perfectly fine, and I think this is going to be a must watch.
I agree. I think this is a must watch if you like rom coms or if you like comedies in general. I think if you pay attention to anime culture too, I think this is just a big one because again, they're when Komi-san finally gets an anime,
Oh,
that's gonna
yeah.
break. Everything's gonna break, right? Everyone's gonna freak
Yep.
out. This is like one of those shows that like people have been waiting to get an anime for a long time, and or not shows, but the series that
Yeah.
deserves an anime, and I think that uh, it's a must watch because of that.
Yep. I agree. Up next, we have
Yes,
probably one of my favorite show. Well, it was definitely one of my favorite shows from last year, and I think definitely has the potential of probably being like an anime of the year contender for this year. And that's Fruits Basket's final season or season 3. It's pronounced Fruits Basket the Final. is the English
Oh,
title. I love season 2. We got so many, like, I don't know, so many questions that I want answered because I never watched the original. We
same.
found out, oh, this is heavy spoilers, by the way. So if you haven't
Very
watched
heavy.
it, yeah. So like we found out that I believe her name is Akio, who run
Akiko, I think, right?
Akiko, who's like the Soma family. I don't know what you want to call her, like lead Zodiac is actually a
The head,
girl. The
the
head,
head, the head of the family.
the head of
Yeah.
the family. She's actually a girl. The whole time I thought it was a dude.
Yep.
Um, we saw kind of the transition away from Yuki being a love interest into like a brother type, where now it's mostly focused on Toru and Q.
Oh,
I
yep.
cannot wait for that. I don't know what the family dynamic is going to happen. I love this story. I love Fruits Basket. I think it was my runner up for like drama of the year last year. Like it was incredible. So Pat, what are your thoughts on Fruits Basket?
Same thing. I love this show. The first half of the second season took me a while to get through, but then it finished extremely strong. And even then, like the first half, it was just me taking my time with it. Probably was in one of those little kicks that we talked about at the beginning of the year, or beginning of this episode. Um, but the second the final few episodes were mind blowing. Like they
Oh,
were just perfect.
incredible.
They were perfect, and I love all the characters. There's some mystery involved with the intentions of certain characters as well. I just love it. I can't wait to see what happens to God. What's your name? Where is she on this character list? Good lord. Arisa, the blonde haired, the the snappy one. Is she gonna get with the Zodiac? Is she the one? What the Dragon Zodiac? I think is what he was.
Oh
He
yeah,
broke
the
his
the
curse.
the
The
white
one
hair guy.
Yeah, the one who, again, heavy spoiler,
Yep.
broke his curse. Like that is phenomenal. Like that was mind blowing that happened. And now Toru knows that the curse can be broken, or that people are able to break their curses. So she wants to help the rest of the family do the same. And
Yes.
again, I can't wait. Like just looking at the cover art, it's got the strings that they used to show the breaking of the curse in the final episodes. So that's gonna be fun. Clearly, that's gonna be a focus. Is the curse itself, and uh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to continue to watch this. This is a must watch if you like rom com. Again, it's got a little bit of rom com, but it's also got some drama involved in it. It's a great shojo story. I don't know. It's not definitely not for everyone. Definitely not a must watch for shonen bros, but for people who really really like dramas and melodramas,
Yes.
this used to be the premium, right? Used to be the manga that everyone would go to, um, way back in what, the 2000s, I think, right? Like early 2000s
Yep.
was when it first came out, and now it's getting a remade, a quality adaptation that
Full
even.
story adaptation.
Yep,
The entire
and
manga.
it's I can't wait.
How
I
often
can't.
do we get that in anime? Like,
Not often.
we're getting it more as time goes on, but I mean, Fruits Basket. I mean, what is there to say? It's so good. Like, I loved how the first season was like fun and goofy and more slice of life, and then as you develop the characters, they start like opening up more to each other, and then it becomes less slice of lifey and more drama. And then the romance element starts kicking in, where Toru is kind of falling in love with one of the characters, and it's definitely leaning where that's the direction that I'm waiting for. I cannot wait for that
Yeah.
moment to happen. And
Hmm.
I just loved like Yuki's development from season 1 to season 2 was incredible. I loved how he transitioned away from being a romantic like interest into like this older brother type of character. And then like his development as a character from outside of the family with like his classroom, because he's like the student council president, and like that group of friends was really interesting to see, because he kind of was like a closed off person, but because of this student council, he opened up more. He kind of had like a friend outside of like the Soma family in season 2,
Right.
and I loved all of that. It's an incredible story. I wish more people would watch this. It's just it's such a refreshing take on getting a full adaptation on the story, and I'm intrigued to see if we're getting like 12 episodes or if we're going to
I
get like a full 25 like the other two seasons.
So when I first saw the first season get talked about, and then once the first season did really well, and like like the first season did as well as expected, so now we're going to fully adapt it. They mentioned that it was going to take 67 or something like that episodes, or it was like or 5 cores, which of
Okay,
course we've already gotten
4.
4 cores.
Yep.
So this, if they stay on their original intention, this is only going to be a 12 episode or maybe 13,
12
14.
to 15-ish,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, season. Which of course, who knows if that's changed in the again? It's been probably airing for what, like 3 years now. I think it's been since the first season. I don't know. Either way, though, like
2019 was the first season, yep.
oh, okay, so yeah, 2 years. Well, so who knows if that's changed? But that's what the initial release was, or the initial statement was. This is done by Studio TMS as well, which has its ups and downs, but it's done some good shows like Doctor Stone, Real Life, which again, Real Life is a fantastic comparison
My
show to
wife who's
this.
from
Like,
that show.
yeah, I love that show. That's one of my favorite shows, and but it you can tell, so that tells you though that they know what they're doing in this field, in this like a genre, so to speak. Because Real Life was very similar, I think, to Fruits Basket in terms of the drama, the romance as well. They've also
Yeah, it has
done,
that supernatural element just in, like, a different way, but absolutely, I see what you're saying.
yep, and then they've got Rent a Girlfriend. They've got, I don't know, a bunch of other shows that they've done that are phenomenal. So I expect it to. The animation has always been stunning too in the
So
first 2
good.
seasons. I love it. The music, the pastel colors have always just been so beautiful. I love it. I love this show. I can't wait for more. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I've said that about the past 3 shows, which don't worry, that's not gonna be my tone this entire episode as we get into these next couple of shows. That's for sure.
No,
But
yeah,
I can't wait.
it's incredible. I had to look back on it. Fruits Basket season 2 is my number 5 show of last year. So if that says anything, it was a top 5 show from last year, which was a really stacked season or stacked year as well. So for me, this is a must watch if you are fans of shojo, romance, drama, like slice of life shows. I think this is honestly like a top tier, if not the top tier of those style of shows. At least for me, like I think it's probably my highest rated shojo. I love Fruits Basket.
Same boat for me. I'd say it's probably my highest rated shoujo that I've ever seen, that I know of at least. I'd have to look, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
It belongs up there. It's great.
So two must watches for Fruits Basket for me and Pat. And
Oh yeah,
let's switch completely different gears, and we're gonna go
yeah.
watch Combatants Will Be Dispatched. I got my manga here. I'm gonna read the synopsis real quick from the back of my manga. So if people have no idea what Combatants Will Be Dispatched is, after a career spent slapping down the superheroes as an evil minion of the Kisaragi Corporation, Agent Six has his next assignment: invade a fantasy world with his plucky new partner, the pretty girl android Alice. Agent Six sets out to bring his target planet to heal. What better way to accomplish this than by partnering alongside with locals? Alongside a Royal Guard Captain Snow, Battle Chimera Rose, and Archbishop Grimm, Allison Six will square off against demon hordes. Even if this means just taking down the competition, let the baddest begin. So, the reason why we are talking about Combatants Will Be Dispatched is this is done by the author of Konosuba, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. So, anything
Great
that's
show.
Konosuba related, I will give it a shot. I'm intrigued to see how this one's going to go. Are we going to get Kimono Michi, which was the fantasy isekai wrestler show, which sucked balls, which was done by the author, or are we going to get Isekai Quartet, who which I enjoy thoroughly
I
and
love
is
that show.
is a great addition to the author. So the author is shooting 66%. You got 2 hits and 1 miss. Um, this one is a little. If you watch like the PV, you can see like the Konosuba like inspiredness. The main character is super smug and like kind of douchey, like Kazuma. Um, Alice,
This
his partner, is a little smug slash Megumin like. He definitely has like a I guess like a formula on how to make the characters. It's definitely going to be one guy and like 3 girls type of
I was
show.
just say, looking at the characters, there's and the cover art, I'm just like, okay, yeah, it's Konosuba's etchiness mixed in, like it's definitely the same vibe.
Yeah.
I can even, and the PV that you mentioned, I haven't watched the PV, but just looking at like the thumbnail for the PV, it's the two of them sitting there with like smug looks on their faces, the two main characters. So it's gonna be really, I can tell what kind of show it's gonna be. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think the first couple episodes will be fun, but just quick, it's done by JC Staff, who we just talked about. Has done plenty of other good shows. Um, I don't know if this genre is for them. But they also did do the Konosuba movie, so there's that.
Well, there's that. My favorite movie of all time, or favorite
Yeah,
anime movie of all time.
yep. I gotta say though, the cover of the first light novel, I'm more interested in that girl than Alice. God, Snow is her name. She seems like a much more my style of character than Alice
Snow is
does.
definitely looking like the darkness of the show. Her assets are on display for sure.
Correct. But just in general, I don't know. Just the fact that she's not a child-sized person is
Yeah,
more appealing to me. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what this show is. I have no idea what to really
yeah.
expect from this.
I
This
I don't
is
want to like sexualize the Lolly character, but she has a shotgun, so that's kind of cool.
that is pretty
Kind of
cool.
like
Yeah,
Megumin and Konosuba. I think she's cool. That's about it. I'm hoping
yeah.
Alice is the same way. She's got a shotgun instead of an exploding magic spell, so that's cool. We'll see how it goes.
Action comedy fantasy can't really expect that much. I feel like
Yeah,
that's the way I'm looking at this. Like, I'm not expecting some great narrative or phenomenal thing, but if I laugh at it like 3 or 4 times an episode, I think I would be happy with it. Like
yeah.
that.
I'm
That's what I.
I'm hoping this is like a 7 out of 10, not like Kimono Michi, which was like a 5 out of 10. I just want
Mm,
a little bit higher quality. I know we're not getting another Konosuba. Like, I'm
no.
not expecting greatness. I would appreciate like slightly better than average would be really nice. I would be a big fan of that. So for
Me too.
me, this is like a consider it if you're a fan of like Konosuba, like what's it called? Like Cautious Hero, something like that along those
That's the
lines.
other show that this reminded me of was Cautious Hero with the same vibe of the two mains being like bickering, but you know, like destined for each other, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's the vibe I got from this show too. So
So you giving it a consider it?
probably I don't know. This is a hard show to just recommend straight up. I feel like I
Very.
feel like that's very hard for me to do, but I will consider it. I will wait. I will not be watching it for the first episode when it comes out. But if I hear really good things about it, I think that's more.
I wonder
Yeah.
what Konosuba's reception was when it first came out. Like,
I have to imagine it was really good because the first few episodes, although they were very etchy, and the whole show is etchy, the show itself was like from the get go was just hilarious. From what I recall, so I have to imagine the reception was good.
yeah.
I don't know though.
That
Who
that
knows?
that that's why I'm hoping it's kind of the same way with this, but I'll cross my fingers and hope it's good, but, like, my expectations are much lower than before.
Yeah, yeah. This is not gonna be Fruits Basket. That's for sure.
No, 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 no.
No.
Another show that's gonna be a lot more serious, and I think a lot of people are really excited for, AKA me, is called To Your Eternity. A mysterious immortal being, is sent to Earth with no emotions nor identity. However, it takes shape to those around it that have a strong impetus. At first, it's a sphere, then it imitates the form of a rock. As the temperature drops and snow falls on top of its moss and inherits the moss, when it's injured, a lone wolf comes around limping and lays down to die. It takes the form of the wolf, and it finally gains consciousness and begins to traverse the empty tundra until it meets a boy. So this is like a supernatural. Um, let's see. The genres are adventure, supernatural, drama, shonen. We are getting 20 episodes, and it's already listed that the episodes are 20 minutes long, so it's gonna be a little shorter than normal. Pat, you have read part of the manga. What are your thoughts on To Your Eternity?
Yeah, so this I remember I can't remember when I read this, but it's on Crunchyroll, or it used to be on Crunchyroll's manga section. And it used to be like one of the main like things that they had because like their manga selection is not very good, to put it very bluntly. At least again, used to not be very good. Don't know what it's like now because I can't access it with the account that I have. But it I remember this was like one of the ones that they were selling, and I heard great things because this is from the author of A Silent Voice, one of my favorite movies. A fantastic movie. So I tried reading it one night. I was just like, I was sat down and started reading it. I think I got through 4 or 5 chapters, and I was bored to death, and I was very confused by what was going on. Like I didn't understand at all what was really happening. I didn't I just could not believe that there was so much buzz around this show, or that this manga, that it was so highly rated and so highly talked about. I mean, what's its rating on Mal? I think like an 8.5
The
or something
manga is
like.
like an 8.5, so
Yeah, that's
it's like top
insanely
100
high.
manga rated.
Right. That's and which is really, really high. So I don't know. I don't want to spoil the first episode because I already know what's going to happen to that first episode. With the boy and the wolf and everything, but I just didn't understand what the whole purpose was because it's this mysterious immortal being. It just exists and then takes the form of whatever is nearby it. So, but it starts without a conscious, and then it gets one as a wolf, and it's just like there to like observe things, but then it doesn't just observe them. It takes them over or impersonates. I don't want to spoil things because I don't even know what they're going to do in the first few episodes, but I have a vague idea. Um, I don't know. I'm very curious, and I'm willing to give it another shot, especially because again, this is such a popular. This is like probably one of the manga where it's like my opinion is probably the furthest from what the general opinion is. Because like there'll be times where I'm like, oh, I love this manga, and other people are like, ah, it's okay, or
Yep.
vice versa. This one, I thought I was like, what the fuck is this? This isn't. I don't get this at all. I don't get the appeal of this at all. While everyone else is screaming, what a masterpiece. So that
Sure.
this is I'm very curious to see if maybe seeing it in an anime form helps me out, helps me understand the appeal better. But I don't know, Pete. Try and sell people on this show because I've
Well,
done a terrible job
when I was
so
just
far.
like looking at like the PV and some of like the descriptions based off its genre, I was kind of hoping that it is kind of like Violet Evergarden, where like you get these stories from other characters while the main character is like interacting with them. Where
Hmm.
yeah, Violet had her own story, but like you really got deep with each episode with these other characters. And I'm kind of hoping that's kind of the vibe we're going to be getting with this because it is adventure. It looks like there's a bunch of different characters listed on the Mal page, so I'm hoping like each episode, or at least like every few episodes, we get like this new journey, this new experience with like a different type of person. Like I can see like on the Mal, we have like a child whose name is March. So maybe we get like an experience through her, but then we have like some older characters, adult characters, where we can kind of just get this like really interesting like adventure while building this world of an like essentially an immortal character and just like his experience with all these different types of creatures. So
Hmm.
that's at least what I'm hoping for. I have no idea if that is the case.
Yeah,
I might be completely off on what the story is. I guess that's just like what I'm hoping for based off what I
that's a good
see.
thing to hope for. That's what I would be hoping for too, and hopefully I can enjoy it more this time around. Because that's kind of what happens in the first I'm gonna say that that's kind of what happens with the boy and the wolf and everything else. But that's where I don't know, because I love Violet. I've always loved Violet, so I don't know why this didn't click with me because that is a very good comparison though, I think, to what you can expect at least from the first few episodes.
And the
I
PV
have
looks
no
really
idea.
nice. Like the animation looks really solid. We're getting 20 episodes, which is kind of a random number. So
Yeah.
I feel like the production is there. This was supposed to come out like 6 months ago, but it got delayed because of COVID.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping maybe it's polished and it looks really good. But for me, I think this is a must watch for me. I know that
Yeah.
you already read it, so you're probably not in that same boat, but
I am not. I am going to tentatively peek from the outside and wait to hear what people think because I'll probably watch the first episode and be like, "Yeah, it's the same that I remember," and then like not watch it, or maybe I'll be changed, or I'll have my opinion changed on it. Again, I hope I do, because again, people, this is like again one of those shows where I'm just like so far off from what everyone else says about it. So I'm curious. This is done by Brainspace, by the way, which they've done some very fun shows. They did Bakano, they did Durarara, first season of Origairu. So we don't know where the art isn't gonna. If you say in the
the
promo
PV
it
looks
looks
good.
good, that's good. But the other shows listed, they have their own style,
Yep,
but they're
for
not
sure.
necessarily gorgeous. If that makes sense, they're
Yep.
not mind blowing mind-blowingly good. They also did Inspector, was I think their most recent show, which you didn't like very much, but I liked it. So
I
who
did not
knows?
like
We'll see.
Inspector.
It's getting a second season
Yes, it
somehow.
is.
I don't know how. I liked it, and I still don't know how it's getting a second season.
Crunchyroll. This is also, I
That's
believe, a Crunchyroll of only show.
it makes
Um,
sense because they have the manga. So there
yeah,
we go.
yeah.
That would make sense.
Hopefully, it's more Tower of God and less Noblesse or God of High School. Except I
Ah,
don't think
God.
it's an original. I just think like it's like a Crunchyroll exclusive type of show.
Yeah, kind of like with what's their name? The the love comedy that we just loved last season. God, what was it? Tonikawa. Tonikawa.
Toikawa.
That's the
Yep.
yeah, same idea where it's like they just they call it their own, but
Yep.
it's not theirs. It's not like
Correct.
their studio. I don't know. Um, moving on to another what's supposed to be a rom-com, I guess. I don't really know.
I don't
Is
think
that
it's a
what that
comedy.
is?
I think it's just like a drama romance. It says on now.
Yeah, that is what it is. So great. That's always a good thing when you have such comically different aged characters. But go ahead, Pete.
And with the
Introduce the show.
title, this is I am
Yes.
not making this title up. It is called I Shaved, then I Brought a High School Girl Home.
Yeah,
Office
great
worker
title.
Yoshida has been crushing on his coworker Ari for 5 years. Despite finally scoring a date with her, his confession is promptly rejected. Drunk and disappointed, he stumbles home only to find a high school girl sitting on the side of the road. The girl's needing a place to stay for the night and attempts to seduce Yoshida. Despite rejecting her advances, he nevertheless invites her into his apartment. One thing I do not like at all, and like my anime and manga is like grown ass men or women dating high school students. And I'm really hoping that this is not the case.
How is it not though with this story? Like, how does it not happen that way?
I
There's
know.
no way
There's
that
no
the
way.
two of them don't end up together. Even if it's not in this show, in this like season of the show, there is no way you can tell me. And if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments or tell me in the comments down below. But I would be willing to bet my house that I don't even own that that they will end up together at the end of the story. There is no way. How do you write a story that's interesting and compelling without that happening between these two characters? In the scenario, they wake up and apparently she's been trading sexual. That's the other thing. It
Yep.
turns out that she does actually trade sexual favors for like having a roof over her head with other men. She's done that in the past. So but what he does, oh, he's an honorable guy. So what he does is he makes her do housework instead. You know, she becomes his housewife, so to speak, right? Without, but not the other stuff, not the stuff that would get him in trouble, of course,
Mhm.
because that's so honorable. What an honorable guy. I don't know. This show, like, I'm gonna watch it, of course, because I'm trash and
Yep.
it. I don't know. It's a romance show. Again, drama and romance. How is it not? How is it a drama and romance without them ending up together? I don't know.
Well, it could
This
be like, he gets rejected and then down the road she sees how good of a guy he is. And so I don't listen, I know I'm shooting for the stars.
Yes, yes,
I
you
know
are.
I am projecting exactly what I want, and the odds of this happening are probably less than 1%, but that's just what I'm hoping for. But just based off what I've read through manga and everything like that, like that's not the case. That's not what's going to happen. I'm guessing what's going to happen is they're going to have like a fun relationship for like 10 episodes, and then episode 11,
Yeah.
he's got feelings for her, and then guess what? You have to buy the manga if you want
Oh,
to find
she
out
just
more.
graduated. Oh, she just
Oh, she's
graduated.
18
So who
now,
knows?
so
She's 18 or 16 in Japan, right? Is what the legal age is. Who knows? I don't care that
yeah.
much. I fucking care. It's
Okay,
sketchy.
the only thing okay, so I'm looking at its light novel reviews and it has 2 10s. So
That's normal, right?
that's nice to see at least. It has a 7.86 to light novel. So that's not bad. I don't mind like shows doing something different. Like it's not being cliche, it's something like try to like I don't know, make like you said earlier, try to make the guy seem like this person that he's actually not as good as you think he is type of thing.
Yeah.
I really hope this isn't a Sing Yesterday for me scenario where we'll get like just a whole bunch of just drama and chaos for the sake of that. And then
Yeah.
end up like ruining the show for me. Not as much as for Pat, but for me it completely ruined the show.
Yeah. No, again, it wasn't a good ending. It just wasn't the worst I've ever seen. I don't know. I thought it was pretty mediocre at best. I don't know. This show, just to go off on this show too, probably not in its favor. The studio is Project Number 9, which when you look at Project Number 9 series,
Garbage.
there is not a single show there that
One.
I would recommend.
There's
Honestly,
one show I'm looking at the list that I would recommend.
is it the something
The
they go to
currently
another world?
airing low tier
Oh,
character Tomaki's
yes.
Tomazaki-kun. That show is great. I love
You
that
know,
show.
you know what's funny? I think we had this when we were talking about our winter preview.
Yes.
and this show came up,
Yep.
the show you're talking about now
Yep.
came up, I think I made the same exact comment
Yes.
about that show, and I was saying, "Hey, so if we look at this list of shows that this studio has done, there's not a single one you'd recommend except maybe what's the God, what is this show called
Oh
again? It's
man.
I didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next level."
That one was fun. Like, it wasn't good, but it was fun.
Right, like, so that's my point, and then when you look at the cover art for every series that this show
It's
has
the
done,
same.
it's the exact same cover art.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of, like, cute girls and a single guy,
Yep.
maybe a couple guys, or just cute girls, whatever, doing their thing, and some of them I'd you'd struggle to call them cute too. So that
Yep.
it's a weird studio. So I'm not expecting a ton from them. But again, who knows? Their most recent show that Pete's talking about,
Yes.
I have heard good things about it. You
It's
know,
it's one of those
not
shows.
gamers.
It's not gamers. It's one of those shows where I thought it was going to be like a 5 out of 10, just like stereotypical whatever, and it ended up being really fun. I think I have it like an 8 right now. I love that show.
Really,
It's
I may have
really
to try.
fun. It's real if you like if you thought Gamers was trash, or I guess if you thought Gamers was good, you'll like this show. Like, it's
Yeah,
like a much better version of Gamers.
I would like that. So I might have to add that to the list of shows. That was again that one I was on about because of the studio and the premise sounding like Gamers 2.0, but
Yeah.
the fact that it
Yeah.
isn't. But to get back to our main point, don't have too many expectations going into this show from Project Number 9. So,
Yeah.
um, especially with the premise, yeah, the premise that again we talked about it, but I feel like we glossed over the fact that it is a fully grown adult, someone who for 5 years has crushed on his coworker, which means he's at least like 25,
25
28
plus,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah, right. You know, if he's been working at a company for probably since college or whatever, and crushing on the same girl, and a high school age student who in this show canonically has done sexual favors to get a roof over her head. So it's like that's just I don't know. It's what is this show?
Yeah.
How is this getting I understand how it's getting an anime because it is, but like God, what is this show? You know?
Yep. I will say if you are like me and Pat, melodrama trash, this is like I definitely would say maybe like wait till like 3 episodes are out and see like what the community reception is. I know just because of me, I watch like every season no matter what. I'll be
Mhm.
watching it. I don't think this is must watch at all.
Nope.
So yeah, I'll say like take a step back and consider it and wait to see what like the community says
Yeah.
about it.
It's not gonna be like Redo of the Healer kind of controversy, but it's gonna be I think it could be controversial. It could be a show that you know the not the mainstream community members, but you know like the people who are like pretty into the culture might sit there and say, "Wait, what the fuck is this? Like, why is this being made into an
Yeah.
anime?" You know,
Yep.
like I don't know. Um, we should recommend this to Miles. I think that Miles would love this show.
Miles would
Um,
probably give this a 2. I could already
yeah,
tell.
yeah, he would.
Based
It'd
off
be great.
Jobless Reincarnation, which is getting like super high praise, Miles is absolutely disgusted by that show. So I don't.
Really?
Oh yeah, he does not like that show. Like the
Huh?
premise, yeah. Something about 41-year-olds molesting 10-year-olds doesn't sit well with him.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that that happened in that show. Yeah, I
Well,
probably
he
wouldn't sit well with me either. But
yeah, I mean he's like a 41. I mean he was 34 when he died, and then he's like 10
oh, and
years
then
old now.
he becomes
Yeah,
a
so he just
yeah,
molests his
yeah, 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 yeah.
10-year-olds. Yeah, so that's Jobless Reincarnation. So
Cool. Well, yeah, great show.
we'll
Cool.
talk
That
about
was
that in the review in 2 weeks.
yeah, the granddaddy of isekai, right? Isn't that the one?
Yeah,
Or is it?
it's super
Yeah.
popular. Something that's not a granddaddy of anything, and Pat
Nope.
hasn't even heard about it until I brought it up to him, is a show called Burning Kabaddi. And Kabaddi is a contact team sport played between 2 teams of 7 players. The object of the game is for a single player on offense, referred to as a raider, to run into the opposing team's half court, take out as many of their defenders as possible, and then return to the other side without being tackled by defenders. This is a super popular game in Southeast Asia, India, Bangladesh type of stuff. So the fact that this is getting an anime is crazy. Like, I describe this as hypnosis Mike in a sports anime because it's just so like what the fuck. but the
Yeah.
style of what Kabaddi is makes me think that this could be a fantastic anime. Pat, your thoughts on Burning Kabaddi? I'm probably
Um,
pronouncing that wrong too. I'm just based
it's if it's a Southeast Asian thing, and just going off of my general knowledge of etymology and words and stuff, I would say it'd be Kabaddi,
Kabaddi. That
but
makes more sense.
Kabaddi, but who knows? Maybe I'm probably wrong too. But either way, this show looks. I had not heard anything about this until Pete brought it up. Yeah, like you said, um, it sounds fun. This sport sounds like something I'd be fucking sick at. Like it sounds like I don't know, if you took like the contact aspects of like hockey and like I think you mentioned rugby.
It's like
Uh,
rugby. It's a combination of like rugby and tag.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like so much fun though. Like, why is this not a this? It sounds like a sport that would be popular in America too if people knew what it was.
Yeah.
So, um, I know. I think that this could be a lot of fun to watch. I'm not a big sports anime guy. Yeah, I think if we look at my list of sports anime that I've watched, there's Prince of Tennis, and there's Rock Climbing Girls, and I don't think there's much. Oh, ping pong. There's ping pong
Ping
animation.
pong.
And one of those things is not like the other. Prince of Tennis is just phenomenal.
Oh,
The
I think
others
you'll
are.
make a rock climbing girls joke. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, Prince. I could have done that, but I went for Prince of Tennis because
All right.
that holds a special place in my heart. I
It's a
read the
good
manga
show.
growing up. It is. It's fun. I like tennis. Like
It's getting
it's
a
good.
movie
That's right. This season,
this
yeah. Look at
season.
that
Yeah.
segue, Pat. Look at me go. I'm not gonna watch that movie, God knows, but because I still need to watch that 170 or something episodes. We're getting off track. This show looks like fun. Don't know if I'm gonna watch it though, like that much. Like again, I'm not a big sports anime guy, and I don't know when I start a series, I usually like to watch the whole series. I don't like to drop stuff, and I don't know if I would want to watch 12 episodes, or it doesn't even list how many episodes it could be. It's probably gonna be a 12
It's
episode
probably
show.
12.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to watch a full 12 episode sports anime just because that's a lot of time. That could go to other things, but it looks like fun. Again, the sport itself, I'm fascinated by it. So I'll probably try and watch a few episodes. Again, I'm gonna wait though. Wait to hear what the first impressions are, because if it's anything like Sport Climbing Girls, then I am not gonna start it, unfortunately, because that show did left a poor taste in my mouth
Yeah,
for
that show
sports
sucked.
anime. Yeah, that show was pretty bad. So yeah, I know though. It seems like it could be cool. It's done by TMS, which again we talked about them recently. It seems like a lot of the shows we're talking about done by the same
I mean, they're
studio.
a massive animation studio.
Well, yeah, but like it's funny that them and Mappa, or was it them and Mappa, or no, it was them and JC, or which who also is a massive studio. But like most of the shows we've talked about have come from the same studios. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
But yeah, so like we already talked about TMS. They consistently make good shows too. Like they've done Megalobox as well. So that's their
Which is
biggest
getting a
sports.
season 2 this season as well.
Is it?
Megalobox
Is it this
Nomad is
season?
coming out this season or next
Oh, I didn't
season.
know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like the summer. But there you go. So Megalobox they've done, which was a really popular sports anime.
Very.
Um, apparently it was really, really, really good. And I believe people when they say it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it.
But yeah, so they definitely know how to do sports anime. So they're fingers crossed for this series being decent. I don't know. The characters have cool designs. Looks like it could be pretty. I don't know how I feel about this guy, white hair, red eyes. That's a little weird that I see in the PV, the main guy. But
He's a
um,
vampire.
yeah. Well, our take on Twilight.
Oh,
We love
love
vampires
Twilight.
around
Team
here. Yep.
Edward all day, baby.
Yep. Team Edward. That's the
Yeah,
vampire,
the
not the
vampire.
werewolf. Okay, good.
No, Team
Yes. Yes.
Jacob's
All right.
the werewolf.
Yeah, fuck Jacob.
Come on, dude,
Yeah,
read
no,
New Moon.
no. Um, no, because I already have multiple
Okay,
times.
oh,
Obviously,
gotcha.
yes,
Duh.
obviously.
Of course.
To get back to our Twilight podcast,
Yes.
let's continue. I don't know. Again, if you like sports anime, this might be a must watch. But even then, I wouldn't even say it is. I feel like this is something that you gotta just let happen, and
Yep.
then you see how it's going. If you think it appeals to you, you watch it. If you don't, then don't. Um, but again, it's not my genres by any means.
Yeah.
It's like My Hero, not my
Yep.
genres. So
I put in the consider it if you like kind of looks like Kirkle No Basket type of stuff. Like if you're a fan of those like shonen style sports shows, I would think that you'd probably like this as well. We'll find
mhm.
out in a few weeks. All right,
Alrighty.
let's get to more rom-coms up our alley. This one's called The Rom-Com Where the Childhood Friend Won't Lose. My childhood friend Sheeta seems to have feelings for me. She lives next door. She is small and cute with an outgoing character. She's the caring Onisan type, this
Uh,
being one of her greatest strengths. But I already have my first love, the beautiful idol of our school, the award-winning author Kachi Shirokusa. Thinking about it rationally, I should have no chances with her, but while walking home from school, she only talks to me with a smile, even I might actually have a chance, do you think? Or so I thought. But then I hear that Shirokusa already has a boyfriend, and my life took a turn for the worse, and I want to die. Why is it not me, even though she was my first love? As I was drowning in despair and depression, Kuroha whispered, if that's tough for you, then how about we get revenge? The best revenge ever, that is. So we got the rom-com where the childhood won't lose. This is a harem comedy romance in school. Yeah, based off Pat's reaction, this is all over the place. I don't know if Pat read the PV or the synopsis beforehand, but he is losing it.
I, so, so I saw the PV. I remember a few weeks ago we were just talking in our Discord. Join our Discord, by the way.
Good plug.
And I saw this title. Thank you. Saw this title come across like the Mal Twitter, and I was like, "What the fuck is this show gonna be? Like, what is this?" But it got announced for an anime, and I didn't read the synopsis at the time. I think maybe I read the first part of it. Or read what people were saying in the tweet below it or something, where I got the gist that it's like, oh, it's a joke, it's like it's a harem, so he's gonna be the two sides, whatever. But like the synopsis just took me for a loop. Oh man, I want to die because my first love didn't love me back or whatever, something like that. How could she? Why is it not me, even though she was my first love? Like what the fuck got us not?
Every
It's such an
incel's
incel.
cheer, yeah.
Exactly. That's like such an incel thing. So that I was looking forward to this show because I thought maybe it'll be like an Oreski,
That's what I was thinking.
yeah, like something funny where it's just like it's a play on the rom-com genre and the harem genre.
Yep.
And also there's three girls. They didn't
Oh
even
yeah.
mention the third girl yet, so I'm curious to see what she
So
does.
that was the girl
Uh,
who whispered into his ear, "Is that tough for you? Then how about we get revenge?" That's the
no,
third
that's
girl.
Kuroha. No, Kuroha is the childhood friend. That's the same one.
No, the childhood. Oh, it is. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Oh wait, so the tiny girl on the
Yeah,
bottom is not the
there's
childhood
another
friend.
one named Maria who isn't mentioned in the synopsis, but she's
I
in
thought
like
she was
the
Kuroha. Yeah.
yeah. That's who I
She's
thought
in
it was
the she's in
too.
the she's in the PV. Well, yeah, because they mentioned
Yeah,
that she's tiny,
so
but she's not.
she's the small girl. I wonder if
I
they have the synopsis wrong or something.
maybe I don't know. Yeah, well, what a reputable source.
Yeah.
Novel updates editor is their source on Mal. So it's been wrong before for sure. But either way, this show it looked like it. I don't know, man. That synopsis scares me now because I thought I was gonna like this show, and now I'm cringing. I was cringe laughing at that because that is brutal. I also thought I would like this show because it's done by Doga Kobo, who did Plastic Memories, which is a show I loved. They did fucking How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift? Sing Yesterday for Me again. First part of it's pretty good. They
Yeah,
did
first 11
Tadakun.
episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, they did Tadakun, which I liked a lot. They've done a lot of good shows that are usually in this same like rom-com slash that kind of vibe, and
Yep.
I like their art style a lot. I actually really like the studio, so I expect good things out of them. However, that synopsis is rough. Like, I did not read it before we did this because I didn't think I thought I read it, but I guess I didn't. But that is bad. Like they're selling this series on the guy being an incel. Is that the
Yeah,
joke? Is that
probably.
funny?
Um,
Is that supposed to be funny? Because like even the Oreski guy, he wasn't like an incel. He was just like a social loner. He was like a Hachiman type. Like
yep.
Hachiman's not an incel. This guy is literally fucking like
Oh, she
pissed
doesn't
off.
like me. I'm gonna kill
Yeah, how could
myself.
she? How could
Yeah.
she not like me, even though I never told her that I
Yeah,
liked her?
never
Yeah,
communicated anything with
yeah.
her. Yeah, if this is like Orisuge, like then it's going to be fantastic
It's
because
gonna
that
be
show
great. Yeah,
rocks.
yeah.
Or are we going to get what's that like that revenge? What's it called? Hold on, let me look it up real quick. So it's like
I
something's revenge. It's really bad.
Oh,
Revenge.
Tokyo
No,
Revengers. Yeah.
that's also airing this season.
I know that's why I brought it up. I
Mase Kun's Revenge, which is about like a fat kid growing up and he was picked on, but now that he's a high
he
schooler,
got
he's super hot and everything.
got
So
hot.
he's
Yep.
gonna get revenge on the hot girl that made fun of him when he was a fatty. Like, is it gonna be like that? Which I hope it's never gonna be like that because that show sucks huge balls.
If you have you watched that show?
Yeah, I gave it like a 3.
Okay, I have a question. So at
Yep.
the end of the show, so obviously he's gonna pretend to want to date her, right? And then he's
Yep.
gonna break her heart.
Yep.
My prediction is
Yep.
that throughout the course of the show, he actually grows into liking her and then doesn't break her heart at the end of it, and they live happily ever after.
I'm
Am I
going to
correct?
I'm going to guess that nothing happens, and then you'll have to buy the light novel to figure out what happens, which is kind of like what most light novel shows like this do. Like Orisuke is like the only one that like didn't do it. That's
Yeah,
what
that was the great one. Yeah, that's a great
that's
point.
just like what I'm assuming. Man, this show.
If you've read the light novel for that show though that we were just talking about, please tell me if I'm right in the comments because I that sounds like I'm not a writer, but that sounds like the only way that you could make that story interesting or appealing to read because like, oh, what is he just gonna pretend to like her and then still dump her at the end? Is it gonna be
Yeah.
like Redo of a Healer where you just literally it's just revenge porn, or is it gonna be something actually like I don't know, moving and I moving in
Yeah.
quotation marks, of course.
Quotations.
Yeah, I don't know. This show,
Yeah,
we have a
this
habit.
show.
So if you haven't noticed, when we talk about a show and we end up spending more time talking about other shows than the actual
Yeah,
show
true.
itself, that tends to mean that we don't have very high expectations for this show, and we are going in with our with open eyes, but tightly closed hearts. I think that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
that's my perspective. Like,
Will I watch all 12 episodes of the show? Absolutely. I will absolutely watch all 12 episodes of the show. Will I
oh,
like it? That's gonna be the thing. Leaning heavily towards no, but I'm trash. Like this is like not the harem, but like the silly comedy romance style of shows are like my absolute favorite. So if
yep,
we like we said before, this is like Orisuke, I'm gonna be pleasantly surprised and very happy. If this is gonna be like Moon Coon's whatever revenge, I'm going to give it a 3, and I'm gonna shit on it for 15 minutes when we do our seasonal review.
yep. That's same boat. I'm curious. I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll put it at that.
Pat is the cautious hero of Romcom, so yeah, so
Yeah.
that's 2 question marks from us on
Hmm.
this one. And our last show is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. I forgot the title, even though I have 5 volumes of the manga right in front of me. Part of the new big 3 with Nagatoro, Uzaki-chan, and teasing master Takagi-san.
The big
It
three. Yeah. Okay.
so Takagi is like elementary into middle school. Nagatoro is in high school, and then Uzaki is college. So those are like the big 3 of teasing. So high schooler Nagatoro loves to spend her free time doing one thing, and that's bully her senpai. After Nagatoro and her friends stumble upon the aspiring artist's drawings, they find enjoyment in mercilessly bullying the timid senpai. Nagatoro is resolved to continue her cruel game and visits him daily so she can force senpai into doing whatever she interests at the time, especially if it makes him uncomfortable. The genres are slice of life, comedy, and romance. Pat, you were talking about earlier that this is from what seems like the community, this is a lot less teasing and a lot more bullying. So what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on Nagatoro?
So I don't know, man. I've always seen like those awful reaction images that people use of her face, of her smirking and being a I'll just say it, being a bitch,
Smug.
like
Yep.
smug. It's not even just being smug, like literally just being a dick.
Yep.
You look at the covers of all the manga, and just like I don't know, maybe people get off to this. I don't. Because like there's healthy teasing in relationships. Like I give Pete shit all the time, and he gives it to me too. But like this is like I don't know. Like even in the synopsis, they call it bullying. Like it doesn't seem like it's very fun, and you can be like, "Oh, it's just playful. It's her way of flirting." Oh, blah, blah, blah." Well, you know what? That's not that's doesn't make it all right. That doesn't make it cool to me. And I never understood the appeal of Takagi-san or Uzaki-chan. I didn't find those shows appealing to me at all, so I don't think I'm gonna find this one appealing at all either. But it is an incredibly popular manga. Like this one it's up there with like Komi-san in
Yep.
terms of like shows that people thought would never get an anime or have been waiting for an anime to come out for. So I don't know, man. Again, like teasing is fun in a relationship, but this one it doesn't seem like it's teasing to me. It seems like it's literally just
Yeah.
it's bullying, but it's a tan anime waifu doing it, which is
Yep.
what makes it appealing for people. Like
Yes.
that's where
And the main
I
character looks like a huge nerd. He actually kind of looks like me. So,
oh
um,
yeah,
yeah, a
yeah,
little
he
bit.
does a
Yeah.
little bit.
I'm growing my hair out
First look
longer.
hair. I was just say you need longer hair.
If
Yeah.
if I part it forward, here, you won't be able to see it, but I'll part my hair forward and you can see how it's kind of getting a little long there, but actually that looks
I
terrible. Don't
I'll have
watch the
to watch
video
it back.
content if you're watching on you're listening on Spotify or something.
Yeah. Well, you know what? See my hair right now. Either Pete was giving me. See, there you go. Pete
Yo,
was
I
giving me
love your
shit
hair.
earlier
You
today.
got the
No,
Johnny David flub, dude. You got
I
that
do.
lettuce. Oh, I love it.
Yep. No DUIs in this house though, so don't worry.
True.
The God, I can't believe that came out recently. The smug look. He looked very smug in his mugshot. I don't know if you saw it after he got arrested
I
a couple
did.
weeks ago. Yeah, he had that smug look, like that Nagatoro look. So there you go. Again, I don't know. This show is
See,
going to happen, and people are going to use her face for reaction images in Twitter
I'm gonna
arguments
read
for
this
the
tonight.
next
I'm gonna read
year.
this tonight. See, I
Please do.
liked Teasing Master Takagi-san is super lighthearted. It is very, very lighthearted. Her jokes that she does with the main character are not harmful in any way. They're more jokes than like actually teasing. And Takagi-san, the main character, actually tries to screw with Takagi more than she screws with him. Just she's smarter than him, so she like
If it
outsmarts
goes
him.
back and forth, then there you go.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
fun.
I
It's
like
really
that.
fun. And I thought Uzaki was really fun too. I enjoyed it. I really hope this isn't like yeah, the bullying word because that's not really like fun to watch. Like I watch these things to have fun with the character. Bullying isn't fun to me. Um Teasing is completely different. So I'll read this and get back to everybody, but like I'm
Like it just
questionable. It has like a decent let me see what its mouse score is on the manga, but like I'm pretty sure it's like pretty decent. It's a 7.72, so that's like
well, it's
pretty
like, is
good.
it like what's gonna come down to is like, does this show commit to the full bully porn aspect that it pretty much is? Like, like the kink or whatever that it sold its manga on,
Yep.
or does it actually make it like her a pleasant character? Again, I'm speaking from a biased perspective who because I didn't read the manga, but I've seen plenty of like panels of it though or screenshots of it, and it just I don't know, man. I don't see the appeal to it at all. She just again just seems like tan waifu that picks on you,
Yep.
and it's like a self-insert sort of situation with that. Like again, I shouldn't say too much. Specifically, this was done by or is being done by Telecom Animation Film, which did Tower of God, so that's pretty cool. Did Orange as well. Other than that, though, they haven't done a ton. I feel like this is a branch off studio because looking at some of these
Yeah, I
titles,
think this is part of
maybe even
TMS.
TMS. Yeah, it might be part of TMS. So there
I
you
th
go.
yeah, so I'm not expecting a whole lot. I'm just gonna put this out there. If you're a fan of like Teasing Master Takagi-san, Uzaki-chan, um,
Probably like this show.
I put this in this like that considered category. If you don't like bullying, it seems like this is probably going to be like an avoid show. A great we're getting it this year. I don't know when, but it's called My Senpai is Annoying, which is like a workplace version of teasing, is going to be fantastic. That I read that manga, I'm caught up. That one's going to be amazing.
Hmm.
So if you want something like Uzaki with less bullying, wait till later this year where we get My Senpai is Annoying, and that's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, like that one sounds funny because from what again, the few panels that I've read, it's like the two of them, they go back and forth and they're two adults too. They're two adults in a
Yes.
working relationship rather
Yes.
than a high schooler who loves to spend her free time doing one thing, and that is bullying another student and making fun of his art and forcing him to do things. Like, I don't. Maybe I'm just not the target
Yeah,
audience.
I'm gonna give
Maybe
it a
I'm
shot. I'm gonna give it a shot, and yeah, we'll see where the bullying goes. It is labeled as a romance because obviously she probably likes him, and that's like, I
which
mean,
of course.
let's
Oh
be honest.
yeah.
When we were kids, like when you liked a girl, like you teased her, but you didn't. At least I didn't bully the girls that I liked. I would tease them and play around, but like nothing along the lines of like, I don't know, making fun of their passion, like art.
Wait, so you're telling me, Pete, when
Yeah.
you liked someone,
Yep.
you would converse with them
Yep.
and you would make conversation with them?
That's correct. I would do that, and
That's crazy.
if I felt something more, I would also relay those messages to that said person.
That's crazy. That
Yep.
that maybe Japan will learn
And
that
unlike the
someday.
previous show, if I was rejected, I would not kill myself and get
Yeah.
revenge.
Yeah.
Rejection is a
Yeah.
part of life. You just move on.
Yep. You deal with it and you cope. Life sucks and then you die. There you go. That's one of
Death
my
and
friend's
taxes,
favorite
baby.
quotes. Yep. I know. So what you're telling me is you didn't bully them and
Nope.
make them hate themselves or feel bad about themselves or regret talking to you. Really?
That is correct, Pat.
Huh.
I'm an advocate of respecting women. And honestly, if you view women as people, it's not that hard. You just talk to them, and it's really easy, and just have conversations, and
Huh.
things happen. It's really not that hard.
Well, you just wouldn't understand the show then, Pete, clearly.
Oh, what am I doing? Honestly, I don't know what I'm
Ah,
talking about.
yeah, clearly.
I'm a fucking normie, bro.
Clearly. I mean, she's tan. You just wouldn't get it. You just wouldn't get it.
I mean,
She's a
I do live in Minnesota, and there's no tan people here.
you talking to a
The,
guy in Connecticut, it's not
yeah,
it's the same thing.
yeah. If you're watching the YouTube right now, you're looking at two pasty ghosts right now.
Yes, you are. You are looking at 2 people who have had a quarantine in their basements and offices, and that that is all they have done.
That's all you're
So
getting.
there you go. Yep. Someday we'll be tan.
One
Someday we'll be
day.
tan senpais like this one that can just bully freely apparently,
Yeah,
and
you know what?
but it's
You know what? After our discussion, Pat, I've came to a conclusion. I'm gonna start bullying women. Like that's just what I'm gonna start doing.
you just gotta try it.
If I see a
I
girl, I'm gonna be like, you know what? Maybe I like you. I'll call you fat, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Who knows?
that painting you made, fucking trash.
Wow, you like arts and crafts? That's your passion? You should pick up a new
Nerd.
passion. You should pick up a new
Yeah.
passion. Like it's awful.
Yeah,
But
you
go
should
out
like
with me
this
at the same
passion.
time.
Yeah, you should like this passion of mine. You should like this thing that I do, and that's it. Nothing else. Yeah.
Ooh,
Alright.
to quote AK from our Discord, degrade women in the bedroom, just not in person. That came from a female, so
That's right. I remember that conversation. Oh
yeah,
god.
so yeah, this show, I'll read it. I'll get back to people on like Twitter. This is like the questionable avoid. It probably just has so much hype that maybe you want to check it out just based off the hype. But yeah.
I'm avoiding it. That's for damn sure. I have no interest. If you couldn't tell from my sarcastic quips and my frustration with the fact this show is so popular. I don't know. Um, I this is like again, this is the show that people look at and they say, "Man, anime fans are weird." You know, like they look
Yeah.
at it from like an outside perspective. They're like, "Man, this very tan and not realistic looking person that is just bullying the main character, self-insert character helplessly.
Yep.
Anime fans are fucking weird." That's what they sit there and say.
Yep.
That's what and it's yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a bad
I
take.
don't
Maybe
blame
that's a
them.
hot
Anime
take.
was a mistake.
It is. Yep. Yeah. Smoke on your cigar and say that like Miyazaki.
Yes.
But yeah, let's move on. So we're on to
That
our
wraps it
rating
up.
time now.
Pat, do you want to talk about the briefly talk about the other shows that you're watching? Because I will be watching more than just the 11 shows we talked about. Pat only
Yes.
watching maybe a few more, so Pat will go, and then we'll do like a rapid fire round.
Yeah. So this is my rapid fire round. My couple shows that caught my eye when I was just scrolling through Mal. Listening, looking at other shows. The first one that caught my eye is "It's Too Sick to Call This Love," abbreviated as Kokoimo or Koikimo, and koi means love in Jap, or I believe it means love in Japanese. So
Yeah, that's right. KOI.
koi, yes,
Yep.
koi. So that's probably where this abbreviation comes in. Synopsis is pretty short, so I'll just go through it quick. Once you fall for someone, you can't stop the love. A strange encounter spurs the meeting of Amakusa Ryo, a high spec businessman who is loose with women, and his high school sister's best friend. Oh, God, I didn't read the synopsis beforehand. Arima Ichika. From there, he falls madly in love. On one hand, he approaches her with almost too straightforward methods, while she responds simply disgusted, insulting him without hesitation, as he takes it as her way of showing love. Or he takes it as her way of showing love. This is a rom-com about a twisted elite employee and a normal otaku high school girl.
Are you
Okay.
changing your mind now?
Uh, I started to change my
Maybe you
mind
should read the
earlier.
synopsis first.
I just looked at the cover art and the frickin' genres, and the cover art looked nice. It looked fun, and then the genres were comedy and romance. But God, is this not the same show? Is this a different show than the fucking other one that we just bitched about for
Well,
10
the high
minutes?
school girl isn't homeless, so yeah, it's a
Oh,
little
yeah, so
different.
it's a little better. I don't know, maybe they quit back and forth. I don't know. I thought I was gonna like this show, and now that I thought I read the synopsis, but I guess I just looked at the fucking tweet and saw people say, "Oh, I love this show. It's great. It's fun," and added it to my watch list. I don't know. It's gonna be the same boat as the other show that we talked about. Uh, it's gonna heavily rely on whether or not these are fucking adults and they are adult about their relationship. And yeah, I don't know. It's done by Studio Nomad, who is known for uh God, just a bunch of waifu shows. It looks like fucking what's this? Bludgeoning Lord, Bludgeoning Angel Dokuru-chan, whatever is one of their big shows. And then
No
look at
idea.
yeah, you look at the
Never
rest
heard
of
of
their
it.
shows, and they were all just fucking anime waifus, girl shows. Like shows with girls is the it's the selling point. So you
Yeah.
know what, this show probably gonna be bad. I'm sorry. I'm
Changing your
sorry.
mind real quick on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry for those I just recommended this to. I don't know. I think it could be interesting, but we'll see. It looked pretty, like pastel colors, nice PV, whatever, or
Mhm.
not PV, promo art. I don't know. Uh, God, fuck me, dude. But this show I'm actually excited for, and I did look into. So don't worry, I'm not gonna go back on my statement immediately after I read the synopsis for this show. But this show is called Joran, the Princess of Snow and Blood. Um, and if anyone follows the podcast or Watch Club, they know that not only am I a history major or a graduated history major, but I also love history in general. I love Japanese history, uh, in particular the Meiji era. That's why one of my favorite shows, Rurouni Kenshin, or manga as well, is set in that time period. I love it. I think it's a fascinating time in Japanese history. This show takes place in alternate history Japan in 1931, which is the 64th year of the Meiji era, uh, where the shogunate, which is essentially the military, was never abolished, and they kept control of Japan. So rather than having the emperor take control back and restore his power in Japan pre World War II, or yeah, like in the in between years of World War II, they instead just had the shogunate stay in power. Uh, and so it's like an alternate history setting, uh, that I think and it's a cool time period too. I love traveling back in time to stories like this, and yeah, I don't know. So the anime follows the activities of Nue, which is an organization of shogunate executioners who enforce the government's various tasks and needs. The country has developed its own energy source, the quote dragon vein, and has achieved unique development in which science and the Edo period are mixed. Um, so I don't know. Again, it sounds a little sci-fi mixed in or supernatural with this new energy source that they have. But yeah, the idea is that behind this glamorous city, uh, this other dissident organization strives to overthrow the administration. Uh, and basically it's about these two organizations, the shoguns versus the uprising, or the rebels, so to speak, fighting for control in this alternate history Japan. So I think that this is going to be a fascinating show. Good time period. Again, it's a perfect time period to tell a story because there's some technology. You can be really flexible with the technology in the show too, because you can have the beginnings of television and radio and electricity, but you also don't necessarily have to have smartphones or anything like that. Where it's like you can tell a more mystery based story. I think because of that, because there's not just something that horror movies struggle with nowadays, the idea that, oh, why don't they just call the police on their smartphone, or why don't
Yeah.
they use a GPS tracker? That ruins horror movies nowadays. Like, they actually have to write into the movies like how the characters lose their phones, because that's just such a real it's such a regular thing now. But that's why I like when we travel back in time, because it opens up the stories, the mystery aspect of it. Um and again, this show caught my eye when I was scrolling through the list. The PV is just this woman standing in a kimono with one of the classic umbrellas, and the title, The Princess of Snow and Blood. Like,
I do like the title, I will say that.
that slaps. That slaps. I haven't watched the
It
PV yet,
sounds
so
like
who knows?
a kind of like a kung fu movie to me. I don't know. For some reason,
Yeah,
I got like kung fu vibes from that title. I don't know.
yeah, and I think it's cool because it's essentially like the Shogunate versus the Yakuza. It
Yep.
sounds like, which is really really cool. Again, Japanese history is fucking sick. So yeah, the only scary thing is this studio, Bakken Record, must be a branch off studio, because the only other thing that they've done
But they could be
is,
new.
it could be new. They've done a movie that aired in 2019, uh, called Pandora to Akubi, which I've never seen or heard
Never heard
of.
of
No
it.
idea what it is. A 6.14 on Mouse, so that's a little
Yikes.
scary. Yeah,
Yikes.
yeah. So we'll see about this series. Again, the art style though looks cool. I like it. Fingers crossed that it's not bad. I have no idea. I never heard of this either before we did our little prep show, or
Yep.
you know, sit down and look at the season. So, uh, no idea what to expect from it, but uh, it's gonna be this show's gonna be my it's gonna tide me over until we get that Kyoto Animation anime that I've been waiting years for them to
Miss
finally.
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Season 2. Let's go, boys. That the one?
Yeah, totally. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. No, I don't know. I think I've mentioned this show before. It's a light novel that is being adapted by Kyoto Animation, called 20th Century Electricity Catalog, which is essentially, yep, takes place in the same time period, 1907 in Japan.
Cool.
Uh, and yeah, so that's gonna tide me over until I get that one to come along, which I haven't heard anything about it since their firebombing or
Right
whatever
on.
the fuck it was. So cool. Who knows if that's still happening, but please let it still happen. It's such a cool time period in history. Give me
Fingers
more.
crossed. Fingers
Give me
crossed.
more. But yeah, that's all I've got that I'm watching, at least this next season. So yeah, what about you, Pete? What
All
are
right.
some
So
of your
I'll do
favorites?
my rapid fire. I will also be watching Is It How Not to Summon a Demon Lord Season 2. The show's trash, but it's whatever. It's fun. If you like big tittied elves and overpowered main characters, you'll probably like it. What else am I
Well,
watching?
shit, you caught my eye now.
Yes.
Like,
Shaman King, the remake. It's a shonen classic. It's getting Fruit Basket, whatever. So they're adapting the full manga. However, I believe it's in Netflix jail for an unseeable amount of time. So it says it's listed for this season. So I'll watch it when I get around to it. Welcome to Demon School, Irma-kun, second season. I fucking loved season one. It was so much fun. It reminds me of like a Saturday cartoon. It reminds me of like SpongeBob. I don't know. It's just silly and super fun. I can't wait. Megalobox season 2. We'll see where it goes from there. Another like silly isekai, kind of getting both vibes, is called I've been killing slimes for 300 years and now I maxed out my level. Uh Silly, I don't know, just like a silly
that sounds
isekai.
fun. That sounds fun.
I think it's an
I
isekai. It's labeled as fantasy, but I'm pretty sure like yeah, it's reincarnated into another world. So it's an isekai. Moriarty, the Patriot, the second season. Really like the first season. It was a unique take on Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty. Really fun. A lot of killing that I didn't really expect. I thought it would be like this fun mystery show, and people got shot up a lot. So that was fun. Eden Zero, which is fairy tale in space. I'll give it a shot. I'll probably drop it, but I mean, that's all over my Twitter timeline. Tokyo Revengers, which looks like it got the shoujo experience. It won like Tokyo's Shonen manga of the year in like 2018, and it looks cool. I like the premise, but it looks a little too clean. I wish it was a little bit more gritty. Is the only way to put it, but it's really hyped up. 86, the sci-fi drama looks like military war stuff. I know people really like the light novel, so I'll check it out. SSSS Daizumon, which is a I believe is a sequel. Let me see if it's
To
listed as a
Gridman?
sequel. No, it's just like the same time period or same world as
It Oh, is
Gridman.
it like Gundam or whatever where
Yeah,
it's
it's
all the
mechs.
same? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Action
mechs.
sci-fi mecha. I liked Gridman. I didn't love Gridman. A lot of people was like, this is like this
The
amazing new mech
thighs,
show. I
bro.
thought it was cool. I mean, the biggest thing that came out
Thighs.
of it was thighs. Let's be real, Rika's
Miku's
thighs.
thighs, yep, yep.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Shadow House. Miles showed me this. It's a silent supernatural slice of life. It kind of looks like Higurashi with a lot less murder. So I'm kind of interested in that. What else do we have? We have some like stupid
Higurashi,
isekai.
you're gonna finally watch Hig, right?
I
Isn't
want.
that
I'm starting it in April. Yes.
that's spring. That's our spring season, so
Yes.
there
I
you go,
have to
you're gonna
watch
start
it
Hig.
based off of a 6-month bet. I have to watch Higurashi.
Yep.
Full Dive, the ultimate next gen full dive RPG is even shittier than real life. I like the title of it. It looks like a really basic, I don't know, AR MMORPG style show. It's probably going to be like a 6 out of 10, but I'll watch every episode. Oh, the Godzilla, just because it's Bones and Orange, the studios are doing the Godzilla show. I'll probably check it out and drop it. Man, there's a lot this summer. Dragon House Hunting is a comedy manga that I read. It's pretty funny. It reminds me, I don't even know if anyone's read Delicious in Dungeon. Just a stupid, silly show about a dragon buying a house. And Sayonara, which is a female soccer show.
Oh, right.
One of my biggest gripes in anime is they don't let females play sports. I'm really interested to see if they let them play sports in this anime. Odds are no. So we'll find out. And the last
Don't
one,
get your hopes up.
I
Yeah.
know, right? And the last one is called Bishonen series Pretty Boy Detective Club, which is written by the Monogatari author. It's his next piece of work. It is a mystery in school done by Shaft, so you know we're gonna get the neck tilts. Same studio that did the Monogatari series. Um, just because like for as much as I don't really enjoy Monogatari, I love like the art in it. So I will give this a shot, especially if it's like 12 episodes, I can get through it. So yeah, that was a lot of shows. Yeah, I'm watching like 20 shows next season. So got a lot to go through. If you made it this far, thank you so much. We have a Discord, we have a Twitter. There's a link tree thing in the description that has all those links where you can find us on other media platforms. And if you are, say, listening on Spotify and you want to see me and Pat's beautiful faces, links to like our YouTube as well, where we provide visual content. Our next episode, we will be doing our Watch Club version of Tatami Galaxy, and then following that, we will have the Winter 2021 review, which might be 2 episodes because I watched like 30 shows this season, and we're also having two special episodes. That is the Wonder Egg Priority only episode and the Violet Evergarden movie episode, which I
Yes,
bought.
we were planning this beforehand. Yeah,
Me and
right?
Pat bought our tickets prior to this episode airing.
Just
And
now, yeah.
so that is Tuesday, March 30th. So we will be watching the movie, coming home, and then doing the podcast immediately. So
Yep.
expect that like late Tuesday, early Wednesday of that 31st date. Yeah,
That's a special day. It's a very special
very special day. But that's going to be really interesting to see if the major is alive or not. So
I
that
cannot
being
wait.
said,
I'm
thank you
scared, though.
so much, Pat. Do you have any closing words?
No, no, I'm good. I'm excited for those special episodes, and yeah, thanks for bearing with me, everybody, as I get back into anime again after after my hiatus.
If
So,
you can see my cool
but yeah,
tattoo, that's finally finished.
I
Yeah,
cannot, but
Pat
yeah,
can't,
that
but everybody else, if you're watching on
everyone
YouTube,
else
can.
can. Yeah, it is a pretty sick tattoo from the photos I've
I'm really
seen.
happy about
It
it.
it makes me want my next one. That's for damn sure. I've got some ideas, but not a lot of not a lot of places open right now, or probably not the best idea to
You know
get a
what?
tattoo.
Maybe in a few months, probably a better idea.
Yeah, probably a better idea.
All
So
right,
yeah, no,
cool. thank you so much for sticking around, and we will see you in a week for Watch Club. Bye.
Bye.